What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to train your body and how to train your mind. Because at the end of the day, let's face the facts here, guys. Your mindset, this is the best muscle. And if you're not training it, don't ever expect to get the body that you want, hands down. In order to get the body that you want, you have to fully transform your mindset first and foremost. So in today's episode, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips, some tricks on how to successfully do that. Now, if you guys are tuning in brand new for the first time, please do me a favor. Give this podcast a successful rating. If you guys are watching this on my YouTube channel, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe also. That way, you're never missing another episode. I'm constantly pumping out new videos anywhere from, 5 to maybe 6, even 7 times a week. So that way you want to make sure you subscribe, turn on the little bell notification there on YouTube. That way you're never missing another future upload. Now, let's dive right into this. How do we train our bodies? How do we train our minds, right? Let's talk about training your mindset first and foremost, because I feel like this is the reality of how most guys train, and I see it all the time, right? I go to the gyms and I just see people just kind of going through the motions, right? They're sticking with the same, rep ranges. They're sticking with the same exercises. They're sticking with the same, let's say movement patterns, right? Sets, whatever the case may be. Now, that's fine, right? I want to tell you that. That's fine. But here's the thing. I can just tell that they're not training their minds during that workout, meaning they're just going through the motions, right? And maybe you've seen types of people inside the gym when you're working out. Maybe they're on their phones in between sets. They're not really caring. They're just kind of going in, right? Doing the movements, right? Curls, right? Shoulder presses, whatever the case may be. And then after the workout, that's it. They just go home. And you're like, man, person like barely broke a sweat. You never really see them huffing and puffing. And so the reason why is because that mindset shift, right? And this is very key for anybody out there that's tuning in, that's, let's say, they're working out. And when I mean working out, just because I'm talking about in the gym setting, don't think like that needs to be you, right? There's hundreds of guys that we coach that work out at home with equipment or at home without any equipment at all. And they still get tremendous results, but it's all because of this mindset shift, right? That I'm about to share with you right now. Here it is. It's your intensity. Like, think about it, right? Maybe the reason why you're not successful and the reason why you don't have the body that you truly want is because you're just going through the motions, right? You're showing up like, oh, this is something I have to do, right? Like, this is something I have to do it, right? No, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. No one is going to force a gun to your head. No one's going to force you to drive to the gym or go into your basement, right, with all your workout equipment and get a workout in. So stop treating working out as something that it's on your chore list, right? It's on your to-do list. You have to do it. When you have that mindset that you have to do something, you're not going to be successful at it long term, because you're not going to see the fruits of your labor. You're not going to see the real results that you can get. So what is the question or statement that you should be saying? Instead of I have to do something, say I get to do this. It's a privilege. So do you guys remember, right? I don't want to say the word because I don't want, this video or this podcast to get, demonetized or whatever the case may be, right? Where I said that word, right? But let's just say it was a sickness that was going on around a few years ago, right? Still is going on to this day. And remember when the gyms closed down and you didn't have any workout equipment to do at home? Well, guess what? Like, think about that, right? Now going back to the gym, right? Or maybe that's where you're going back to, or just started opening up, whatever the case may be. Like, think about it. It's a privilege. It's an honor. You get to do that. You don't have to do anything. And for anybody that's my fellow gym rats, right, like me, that enjoys going and working out in the gym, you know that when your gym was shut down, that was hard. You had to adapt to home workouts, and maybe you didn't get the same muscle stimulus or same response, right? But now here's the thing. You can in this situation after listening to this podcast episode, because you need to make that shift, that mindset shift, right? We're not promised tomorrow. So if, let's say, you go to the gym, you get a crazy good workout in, and you have to do it, right? So it's just a chore to you. You never know what's going to happen on that drive back. You never know what's going to happen. So why don't you treat every workout like it's your last? Like, think about it. If you knew that you were never going to work out again, how much more intense would you be, right? What would the intensity level be in that gym, right? In that workout session, or whatever the case may be that you're doing at home. If you knew that that was your last workout ever, how amped up would you be? Would you say, okay, well, I'm just going to go through the motions like how I have been the past 2, 3 years? Or you know what? I'm going to give it my all and I'm going to absolutely crush it. That's how each and every one of your workouts should be. That's what it takes to train your mind. Now, I think the reason why it's a lot easier for me is because I utilize, right, my past pain to help me in that gym situation. Meaning that, hey, guess what? That first set, cool, right? Like it's our warm up, we're just getting the ball. But that third, that second, that fourth, whatever the case may be, that's where I'm really pushing myself. And I'm using the pain of the past to push me to greatness. You guys have to have that mindset. You can't just sit on your phones in between sets on Facebook and just not caring and going through the motions. Once again, if you're not training your mental muscle, right, you're always going to have a weak body. Quote me on that. Hear me out. You need to have the intensity. And I'm not saying like, okay, hey, we're deadlifting here. We're going to go from, a 45 plate on each side plus the bar, so 135 pounds to 515 pounds, right, in second set. I'm not saying that, right? If you guys know how to train your body properly, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, right, we'll talk about the sets, the reps, everything like that. But what you need to understand is this, that intensity, that's first and foremost. You need to master that before you even step foot into the gym, before you even step foot into your garage or basement, wherever you're about to get a workout in. You need to start telling yourself, man, I'm so blessed to get the opportunity to do this. Not, I have to do this. It's on my to-do list. Because at that point, you're just wasting your own time. You're going to show up, you're going to go through the motions, and you're going to continue to not see any results. So what's the point? Stay home. Watch a movie with your kids, right? Have, bad examples, whatever the case may be. Just don't go half-ass it. Go all in. Push yourself. You only got one life to live, so why not live it to the best? And it all starts with that mindset shift that you need to make. Remember, you don't have to do anything. You get to. It's a privilege, right? Treat each workout like it's your last. Push yourself. Use that past pain, whether it's depression, whether it's hurts, whether it's, man, I used to push around this weight, 20 plus years ago. Let me continue doing that again and do it, right? Push yourself. Challenge yourself. I encourage you to do it because I promise you this, you're going to start getting better results. And I think that's what you want, right? Why else are you listening to this podcast, right? You want to get better results physically and mentally, right? And that's how we coach our guys and help everybody, through Heartletics, through our one-on-one coaching program, is helping that individual become the best version of themselves mentally and physically. Now, that's, right, the mental side of it. So just keep note of that. Your intensity matters the most, right? And make sure you have the right mindset, that it's a privilege, it's an honor. You get to do this, not that you have to do it, plain and simple. Now let's talk about how to train properly, okay? So as we're going in, now, depending on what you guys are doing, if let's say you're clients of mine, you guys already know that the Heartletics training app, you have all the instructional videos, right, with me going over everything with proper form. That way you're not injuring yourself. That way you know how to do things properly, whether you're working at home, whether you're working on a gym, whatever the case may be. You know that you also have everything laid out for you, right? We have right there at the top, right, your warm up as far as like, hey, here's how to focus with progressive overload. Here's what you should be focused on. Here's your, rest intervals in between each set. That way you're going for comfort, everything like that. And then also each exercise has the sets, has the rep ranges, everything like that. So you guys are set up for success. And that's why if you're a member of Heartletics coaching program, congratulations, you made the best investment of your life and you're going to continue to push yourself to greatness. And we're going to hold you accountable and make sure that we achieve those results together, right, through this mission. Now, let's say you're not on our coaching program. Well, first off, you made the mistake right there. So go to heartletics.com, apply for coaching. But let's say you're just, hey, I want to hear a little bit more about this podcast, this episode, and just try to get some tips and tricks on how to benefit myself before I become a client. That's okay. What you need to focus on, right? when it comes to training your body, when it comes to rep ranges, sets, reps, everything like that, is understand this. We'll make it very simple. Go to your lifestyle preferences first. What does that mean? Well, don't think, okay, hey, I need to start going to the gym and I haven't been worked out in 3 years. I need to start going to the gym every single day now. That's not sustainable, right? That doesn't work like that. Like we know plenty of guys that apply through a discovery call, right? When it comes to applying to become a coaching client, that tell us that. Joe, I want the best results. I'm willing to put in the work. I work out every single day. Well, guess what? Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're going to start off working 3 workouts a week, and then we'll progress from there as your body progresses. Because the last thing that we want is to coach somebody because they tell us, hey, Joe, I want to work out every single day. But we know for a fact this is the reality. If they haven't worked out, and let's say it's been 2 years since they last worked out, they're going to feel like they got hit by a truck after their first workout, especially if they're training the body properly. And it's that DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, right? So the last thing that we want is for them to have a scheduled workout the following day because that's what they told us that they wanted. But let's face the facts here. They're going to wake up. They're going to feel sore, tired. Maybe they don't feel like it. And that bad wolf is going to start creeping lies into the back of their heads. Like, man, I told you can't do this. You're not cut out for it. So we understand, right? We're professionals here. We understand and educating the clients, right? People that's getting signed up for coaching on figuring out something that works best for their lifestyle. And I encourage you to do the exact same. What does that mean? Well, stop trying to risk it for the biscuit. If you have the right mindset, you're doing the right daily habits, you're going to get your results, no ifs, ands, or buts. Plain and simple. The working out aspect, guys, is literally the icing on the cake. That's it. It is the icing on the cake. It is the sprinkles. You want the meat, you want the potatoes, you want the batter, right, which you're really going to get the results from. 90% of that is nutrition. 90% of that is mindset. That's why I talked about the mindset first before we're even talking about this stuff, because it's irrelevant. You can go to the gym and do whatever you want, honestly. It's irrelevant. But you got to make sure you have the right mindset and obviously backing that up with the right nutrition plan. Now, with that being said, let's still make sure we're doing this the most strategic way possible to help you get the results you're looking for. So when it comes to setting something up for success for you that works best with your lifestyle, go off of your schedule, go off of, making sure that you have that proper balance between work, family time, and then obviously self-care, which is maybe going to the gym or spending time in your basement or garage and getting a little workout in, because let's face the facts here, you're leading by example when you're doing that. You're being selfish to prioritize yourself so other people can also do that, right? And benefit from it also because you're taking the right steps. Let's just say that, okay? Now, when it comes down to training the body and how you should be doing that, we always recommend that, guys, this. Let's first map out somebody's schedule, and then we'll go into the blueprint. So if let's say somebody can only work out 3 times a week, most likely we're going to give them a full body workout routine. Why? Well, simply because we know to train each muscle group effectively, we want to target each muscle at least 2 times a given week, right? At least 2 times. All right, if we can do 3, great, right? But 2 times works best for most of the guys that we coach. So 3 times a week, right? Maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. It's just more easier to give them a full body workout routine. That way we know for a fact, hey, they're limited on time, right? We can make sure that they're hitting each muscle group effectively at least 2 times, right? They're hitting it 3 with the full body workout routine. They're going to see some results. If you're going to the gym 4 times, I would preference maybe doing an upper body, lower body split or a full body style that's like a push-pull routine. So push is like your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, but you can also throw in there your quads, right? You're doing maybe some squats or leg extensions or sissy squats, whatever the case may be. Pull is going to be anything where you're pulling something in. Maybe so it's your back, your rear delts, right? Maybe your hamstrings, your glutes a little bit, biceps even, right? You're pulling. So we like to set it up like push, pull, if they can only work out 4 days a week. 5 days, typically just depends on them and what they want to do. And that's something that we coordinate with them. It might be like push, pull, legs, upper body, lower body. It might be something that I'm following with my split, right? Where it's like upper body, lower body, and then, pull, push, lower body. So it just whatever works best for them that they enjoy doing. 6 days, maybe push, pull legs, whatever the case may be. Typically, we always say this, that the guys that work out 4 to 5 times a week on our coaching program, they always get the best results that they're looking for. So if you're somebody that's on the fence, thinking about getting signed up, don't think you need to work out every single day. Trust me, 4 to 5 times, less is more, right? Trust me, 4 to 5 times a week is a perfect sweet spot. So now you're probably wondering, okay, so Joe, you talked about the schedule, you talked about like the muscle groups and, when to train them, scheduling, whatever the case may be. What about like these, exercises, the sets, the reps, what should I be doing? I always say it like this, and just hear me out. This is, just what works for me and the guys that I coach. I'm not trying to say I'm a master, an expert, just because I have some certifications in, personal training, nutrition, and strength and conditioning coaching. And I've been literally coaching thousands of guys now for the past 6 years. I'm not a master, right? I'm still like learning more. I'm still constantly pouring in more education, more certifications, because like I got one life to live. I want to, get as much knowledge as possible. That's what makes this life fun, worth living. And so I'll just tell you what works best for me and what works best for the guys that I coach. We'll take it as that. So typically, if you're going to do a warm-up exercise, which I highly recommend, your workout split should be set up where, the first few exercises, they're getting your body used to, that heavy compound lift. So let's say a push workout. So we're working out chest, triceps, and shoulders. Maybe the first few exercises, right? Let's say 1 or 2 is like machine flies. I'm a big fan of machines, right? I don't really do a lot of compound lifts anymore. I'm a big fan of machines, okay? And so machine flies, maybe machine chest press, just getting that blood flow in there. 3 sets, anywhere from like 10 to 15 reps. Because once again, we're not trying to kill ourselves. We're trying to just, ease the body into it. Now, with that being said, even though I literally just said we're not trying to kill ourselves, you got to remember the start of this, podcast, start of this episode, I talk about the intensity. So even though I'm not trying to kill myself, I'm sticking within my rep ranges that I have set up for me. So 10 to 15 for these warm-up exercises, but I'm still focusing on what's called progressive overload, which is key that I want to talk about next. So that first set, right? Maybe I got a good, comfortable weight and I'm tracking everything in my app to make things a lot easier for me. I do 15 reps, right? It's a good push. Now, I will tell you this to help you guys out with intensity. There's something called out there called an RPE scale, reps per exertion, right? We're just going to let you know that, 10 is like, hey, you can only get 1 rep. Like that is balls to the wall. Like this is hard, very, very hard to do, difficult. We're talking about like your max PRs. And then like 1, which is like effortless. Like that's just like the bar that's like no weight. It's just so easy, right? I always encourage guys to stick between 7, depending on how they're feeling, and 9. I personally like to stick around 8. That is what works really, really good for me. So that first set, right? Let's just say machine chest flies, okay? 3 sets, 10 to 15 reps. Hear me out. First set, let's say I do anywhere from like 13 to 15 reps. That second set, I'm going to increase the weight. Now, that second set, I'm trying to mentally say, okay, I got to push my hardest to get to 10 reps, right? If I can get to 12, awesome. But at least let's try to get to 10, right? That's what I want to go for. And I mean, it's a push, right? It's a grind, but I can do it. Now, depending, if I only got 10 reps and like that was tough, like that 9th rep, I really had to push myself. And let's say that 10th rep is like, it's very, very difficult, but I got it anyways. I'll stick with the weight. If let's say I was able to bang out 12 reps, the next set I'm going to increase the weight. So you guys can see in there, right? I got my headphones in, I'm grinding it out. I'm focusing on progressive overload, which is key for developing, right? Stronger, bigger muscles. And this is what I meant by when you see guys, they kind of just stick with the same routine, the same motions. They don't stick with any different rep ranges. They don't stick with any different exercises or workout split. They just stick in their old ways. And that could be fine, but their intensity isn't there. And that's why they never get the body that they want, honestly. So I do some machine chest flies, do some machine chest press, right? I'm feeling good. Maybe it just depends on how I'm feeling for that day. Maybe I only stick with 1 warm-up exercise, right? Or maybe it's cold weather. I need 2 to warm up my body properly. You're going to know your body properly, more than anybody else. Trust me. After that, I'll go into a compound lift, right? I don't do, squats and deadlifts anymore, typically. But barbell bench press, I still do. I prefer dumbbell chest press, honestly, but whatever the case may be, this is going to be my compound exercise. My sets are typically going to be anywhere from 3 to 4, typically around 4. And then my rep ranges, it just depends on how I'm feeling, right? Like I might do, let's say, 120 pounds for, let's say, 6 reps or 8 reps, right? Dumbbell chest press, and that's a grind, that's a push. But maybe the next week I don't want to go so hard. Maybe my elbow hurts or whatever the case may be. And this is what I mean about learning how to train properly for your body type and goals and your mindset. Because once you learn that, hey, you don't need to follow something strictly to the point, that you can have some flexibility, you then become a creator of doing this for your own good, of learning how to, once again, fish. We always tell everybody this, like our coaching program, don't ever think about it as like, hey, here's some workouts and a meal plan. That is the least what Heartletics is. Heartletics is literally teaching you how to drive, teaching you how to brush your teeth, teaching you how to fish. It's not giving you a fish and feeding you for a day. It's teaching you how to fish and feeding you for the rest of your life. It's teaching you how to drive. That way you don't need a driving instructor anymore. It's teaching you how to brush your teeth. That way you know how to easily do that each and every day. It's part of your habit. It's part of your routine. That's our game plan. That's how we coach our clients, is by teaching them, giving them the knowledge on how to do things once and for all, and create the results and maintain, right? Because they learned how to do it in the first place. After my compound lifts, right? And remember, rep ranges could vary. It is going to be, I'm always going to focus on progressive overload, but typically it's going to be, I don't know, it could be anywhere from 3 to, let's say, 10 reps. It just depends, but I'm definitely making sure for those compound exercises, I am focusing tremendously on lifting heavier, 5 to 6, reps. That's my wheelhouse. That's my sweet spot. I like that. And then afterwards, I'll go back to, some of the isolation exercises, to cap things off at the end of my workout. So like an isolation exercise might be like lateral raises, or it might be, let's say, tricep pull downs with a rope. And for typically these where it's just a smaller muscle group, so compound exercises, these are where you're working out multiple muscle groups, Isolation exercises is where you're working out smaller muscle groups. And typically it's just isolating it. So it's just one, singular, not plural. Just Google search compound versus isolation exercises. I'm sure you can find a list right there to make things easier as far as what are these exercises. Anyways, for the isolation exercises, this is when it's typically maybe 2 or 3 sets. And I'll bang it out anywhere from, let's say, 12 to 20 reps. That's it. So that's what I like to do, right? That's how I like to train, right? That's how we coach our guys. And this is what works for me, what works for them. It gives them all the tools, the knowledge, and the flexibility of knowing how to train their body properly. But as we're finishing and wrapping things up with this podcast episode, hear me out. The very first thing that we talked about in this episode was your intensity, your mindset. And what did I say in the very beginning? If you do not have the right mindset for success, don't ever expect to have the body that you truly want. You need to work on this first before you can actually work on your body. That's how you're going to get the results that you're looking for. Now, if you guys are, let's say, more curious about Heartletics, or maybe, getting in shape first and foremost, and how that looks like specifically for you, but instead of you trying to do this all on your own, and you want some help, and you really just want the guesswork taken out, because maybe you're a busy parent, maybe you have your occupation, your career that you're focused on, where, you just want to be set up and told what to do, and a coach, right, telling you what to do and how to successfully do that. Well, guess what? Go visit heartletics.com. We got some free fat loss guides. We got some free coaching training. We got tons of stuff in there for you guys. And I promise you this, right? If you just start, listening to more of these podcasts, watching these videos, absorbing some of this knowledge, your life will change, because that's my job. That's my mission here on earth, right? Is to help you become the best version of yourself mentally and physically. With that being said, guys, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com. I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scout.